Hello and welcome back to the weaving mini tutorial series. I still have the loom exactly where we left off about 8 months ago. I apologise about the very long gap in making videos. So as you can see, we're working on this hill shape here, and today I'm going to fill in the rest of the hill shape with blue up to about there to create something somewhat symmetrical, although it won't completely be symmetrical because, as you can see, this goes down here and down there, so it's not going to be quite a yin and yang shape, more of a hill shape. Right, so had I been thinking ahead, or maybe I did and have lost the piece of paper, I would have made a grid like this. So you can see I've set this grid up and printed it out using Excel. You can use any spreadsheet program to do it. And I've made each square slightly wider than it is high to reflect kind of what my stitches look like. And you can tweak that according to kind of the set, so the space between each of your warp threads, or how many warp threads you have per inch, and how thick your weft yarn is. So this doesn't reflect what I've done, I've just done it as an example for you now, but you can see, whoopsies, sorry, that each row along here corresponds to one weft thread, and each column reflects one warp thread. So I've got 21 warp threads here, and I've used up to space number 21. And so yeah, if you had the same thickness of yarn and same type of yarn, you could then use your other colour and kind of progress with this, following this schematic here and filling in those white bits. But as that isn't the case for me today, I'm going to go ahead and just do it kind of freestyle, which I think in a way is useful to learn anyway. My yarn is slightly thicker, my blue yarn is slightly thicker than my grey as well, so this is the best way to do it. And the first thing I'm going to do, you can see I've got some grey yarn here that is past where I last had the blue. So rather than continuing with the blue here and having a loop sticking out, the first thing I'm going to do is to take a needle and thread all my blue yarn through there. There we go. And I don't want to pull it too tightly. Right, I don't know why that grey is slightly matted together. There we go. There. So that makes it a little bit more seamless. And then once I've done that, I can put the blue back onto my, I've forgotten what this is called, my shuttle. There we go. So I've got my blue yarn back on my shuttle now after I threaded it through there. And I'm just going to start by kind of looking at my weaving, and I can see that here I've got 3 rows of grey on there. Oh no, sorry, 4. Whereas here I've got 6, so I can see there that that was where I turned around. So I'm just going to start by doing a couple of rows of the first 4 so that I don't, or maybe just 1, yeah. Remember to have your heddle, your bar heddle, in a way that is opposite to the previous row. So the grey, the last row I was going over, under, so now I want to go under, over for this first one. There we go. And back just over those 4. So we're essentially ignoring the rest, which is similar to what you would have seen in my previous video. And I think I'm already ready to go for 6 now. So you can see as you go, you'll be able to see kind of, you're trying to basically keep your new colour as kind of parallel to your beams as possible. And looking at this now, I'm thinking I'll go over those 6. Yeah. Again, don't pull too tightly. And I'm just doing this by hand because obviously if I beat down with the comb I'll break that hill shape a little bit too much. I can tell that I haven't been using this loom for a while because it's a bit slack. I may need to tighten the beams. And so as you can see, now I'm starting to, can you see that my blue is starting to droop down a little bit? So that means that I need to kind of add a bit here, which means I might be better off. I don't want a dip between the blue and the grey. So I might need to do a quick, on the next one, I'm going to fill in, can you see how I've got a bit of a dip there? So I'm going to fill that in by going up to there where the dip kind of ends. So up to this row there. Do I need, yeah, and just kind of go back on myself for a little section there. Can you see how I've added an extra row there in that dip? And go back and just do a little back and forth here just to fill in that dip. So it doesn't matter when you're eyeballing it, you know, it might look obvious now that you've got those steps, but they will even out quite nicely. And go up to here. And so you can see how if you think of it as kind of columns and rows kind of thing, if you think about it in terms of this, what you're basically doing is taking, you know, if you end up with a dip there, filling that in just by going back and forth over just those 2 stitches. Right, now I'm hesitating. I might even go all the way back on this now. Shall I turn back once more? No, I think. So you can see how I stopped that row short of the end there. But actually, having had a second look, I'm thinking I could just go to the end. So continuing in the same pattern, we want to go over that one, yep. And so you can see I've actually ended that row, and I think that looks better now. And now we're almost ready to go across to the other side, I reckon. So you can see I'm going back and forth until I reach the crest of that grey hill. Now that I'm nearer the crest, I can use this comb to beat down with as well. And yeah, let's go ahead and go across all the way. Now, because on the other side of the crest I only have a very small gap to fill in, so I'm not sure I'm quite happy with that, but we'll fix that in a second. So because I've only got quite a short section to fill in here, I'm just going to do it like this. So I've put in some extra slack on the blue there to allow it to reach that extra way down. and I'm really just going to go over, weave my weft around the first two, being careful again not to pull too tightly. And then the first two again perhaps, or can I go first three? I think I'll go first three on the way back there. Yep. And then if I look at that now, I think I need to go and fill it in up to there a little bit, because I can see that that is a bit higher than that is. And let's see what happens if I beat down now. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That's flattening out nicely. We've still got, maybe pull that ever so slightly tighter. And it's really handy if you've got a needle like this, because you can adjust the tension afterwards by pulling on it a little bit. Yep. I'm going to go around. Oh, sorry. What? Shall we go up to that one or the next one? Up to this one, I reckon. Right, now I'm worried that by beating down I've compressed that hill a bit too much, so I'm just going to adjust the grey hill slightly with my hands, just to make sure that we're not compressing it too much as we beat down with the blue. And in fact, as I've done that, now I'm regretting having turned around, so I'm going to go back to where I was and undo that last back section there, and instead I'm going to finish that row as I had it. Yep. So, yes, I'm happy with that. And yeah, I think that looks quite even. There is maybe slightly less there, but I don't think you'll be able to notice once we do another couple of rows. And there we go. We filled it in and we're back to being parallel to the beams. That's how you fill in the rest of a shape. Obviously it would be quite different if we had a much deeper dip, then you might need to split your yarn into two, but I'll have to do that another time. Thanks for watching. Bye.